Inferno, it started off well for Nouns, 5-0 up, an ace from CJ, and even in that first half, a 1v5 from Stamina, but they end up dropping it 16-10, and now we move to MIBR's map pick. It's Vertigo, Boggs and JRT on the call here, as we enter map number 2 of the first day of ESL Pro League Season 17 Conference for North America. Nouns on the CT side, MIBR on T, grouping up towards a ramp, but now starting to fall back away as the rotations have flooded this direction. Now they push up, and bwills on the dual Berettas, only able to notch one, and Sonny comes in. That's Cynic Dawn. CJ 1-2, looking for another pistol round ace perhaps, as Henny cannot come up with anything. All down to Exit now, who's sitting around and waiting for something. Stamina puts him 6 feet under. And Nouns will start off as they did on Inferno with a pistol round victory.
Yeah, like I talked about, CJ was so very impressive against Vendetta in their last BO3, especially on that A site. He really came out with some impressive clutches and individual efforts. He was their top frag at 23 and 14, 100.3 ADR, so he is one to watch out for on both sides of this map. And it's good to see, you know, a new player, a new face come in. I say new, but what I mean is in terms of fragging, CJ has never really been known for that, but now he's coming in and he's doing the damage, not only on the first map, but right here. As soon as we kick off Vertigo. Now, good flashbang thrown by Exit, and Henny will find the head of Cynic. 5v4 in favor of MIBR. They're going to try and charge forth with a very typical ramp push here. Right off the docket, PRN gets ventilated by Stamina Samas. Although Stamina does take a lot of damage there, Carson comes in on the flank. He is trying to pincer in MIBR, and they really have nowhere to go but forward. Carson gets the second, then the third. He's farming the money and the frags. He's already got $1,800, and bwills will take $600 for himself. That is going to make it 2-0 for Nouns. So again, as Inferno started out, it's a similar story here on Vertigo for Nouns.
It really is, and this is the stronger side for Nouns of this map. Now for MIBR, T side is where they are statistically stronger. Same on Inferno though. MIBR very much like the T side on these two maps in particular. Also fond of it on Ancient, which is not a map to be played tonight. But now they've got the guns up, the Brazilian squad, they have their utility, and they have a mind to go and get themselves their first round on the board pretty early here. They don't want to let Nouns get off to that early start like last map. They cannot let that happen again.
Yeah.
They can't let Nouns hang around. Just got to go in, get the job done, move on to tomorrow. ATK awaits. Lots of mid control for MIBR though, and if they can get by Stamina, they can just open up whatever they want. They are going to go in towards CT spawn. Stamina with the dink. The FAMAS will not be good enough for the kill. CJ with the trade pack on a BRN. Cynic with an upgrade to an AK, and now MIBR stalled out in mid.
Yeah, Nade's going to come through here and connect onto Exit, taking him down to 17 HP. He's got to get the heck out of here, but he can't. He walks into a Molotov. Cynic takes down Tuurtle, and now it's up to Henny and Sonny. And Sonny gets one nice shot, but Cynic's right there for the trade. Henny is now the Lone Ranger for MIBR. 1v3. 51 seconds on the clock, and the bomb is not in his possession. Nice headshot onto CJ. Looking for the follow-up on Cynic, but no. Crosshair not in the right place as he comes around that corner, and Cynic will end him. 3K for Cynic, who was quiet on map number 1. They certainly would love to see his contribution come through here on Vertigo.
Definitely need his contribution, I would say, because he's usually one of their top 2.
Yep.
Even when he was full calling, he was usually one of their top 2. Top 2, top 3. You need Cynic to show up if you are Nouns. That is a win condition. He's doing so now. Everyone's relatively even. It is still very early days here. MIBR on pistols. Going to go for the good old-fashioned rush ramp. Nade will come through, and BRN actually with the Tech 9 doesn't take too much damage at all. He's found himself an opening kill. Maybe a rifle to be recovered, but he cannot get by CJ, who rings his bell. 4v4. Now the rest of the team taking a bit more of a lethargic approach up the ramp. CJ gets caught off guard, watch inside. Now Stamina coming in to group up with him. Takes the fight to Insani. Wins that duel. Rotations flooding back to the A side of things here from Nouns. But still very messy from Nouns, where they're not able to really win anything clean.
Yeah, this is definitely still possible for MIBR as well. They got those 2 opening frags. There are a couple of rifles at the top of A ramp, and that's why now they're playing so aggressively here, and it's for good reason. bwills and Stamina get a couple of frags. Henny and Exit can't get any further, and now Tuurtle doesn't have the bomb in his possession. Carson? No, he won't. Carson comes around that corner with a head full of steam, drops Tuurtle 4-0 in favor of Nouns. MIBR will be back on the rifles though. And I mean, I want to feel like Nouns are going to have a bit of a better performance here on Vertigo, but they looked like this at the beginning of Inferno, so we can't get our hopes up too high.
Yeah, my hopes are not going to rise until I see them put 16 on the board.
I mean, yeah, and also, I would say get past that starting mark of 5-0. I think in this case, with the money really in the tank for MIBR, it might be a little more significant getting 5-0. That being said, it's a $3,400 loss bonus, so they'll probably be able to reinvest at least somewhat in the following round should they lose here, and it looks like they might. Stamina gets the second of the round already for Nouns in the first 20 seconds. Carson waiting around the edge of the smoke, and he actually gets caught off by Tuurtle. Nice little boost there over the top of the smoke by Insanity for his teammate. And that will open up a ton of space moving forward. In fact, it's only bwills here for the time being. If he gets dropped, MIBR will likely get the plant, and instead, he just has to back off. Tuurtle going to Util. MIBR have secured the plant.
And it's a 4v3. This is very winnable. Make it a 4v2 though. The nade comes around, and so does Cynic. All down to Exit. 1v2 now, as he's picked up the first of
Nice
4,
try.
but Stamina comes up the stairs, and good flank, good rotation from Nouns. There's that 5-0 start. Do they start off 6-0? Because MIBR's buy is not great here. There's an opportunity.
I'm surprised they didn't get that plant down. I thought they
Yeah.
were sticking it, but the bomb actually doesn't get planted for MIBR. That will significantly make a significant difference on this round because you don't get that additional $800 in your bank accounts. So instead of potentially going for AKs, now they're on pistols and 1 AK in Tuurtle's hands. 5-0 Renouns. Exactly the same story as it was in Inferno. Will MIBR strike back here? Nouns take an even stronger lead. Carson waiting at the top of B stairs for a chance to toss this incendiary on board. And well, as soon as that a flashbang comes through, he does toss the incendiary, and well, MIBR are going to have to slow up just a tad.
All it's out, prepped and ready. Tuurtle probably should look to throw that AK over to somebody with a little more HP before it falls off the map. bwills over, and there goes Tuurtle. He's removed, and so is Henny. Good flash from Insani for the CT side, not for his own teammates. Exit with a flash assist onto one of his comrades as well as Carson chimes in. All down to Exit now. 1 Exit frag. But 6-0, a storming start for Nouns, and I would say it's timeout time for MIBR, and yeah, it's got to be a timeout here.
Yeah, MIBR calling timeout. I agree. You know, this has not started off well at all. And this time, instead of getting that stop at round number 6, you get completely blown away. Even though it was just a pistol buy-up, and they will have the proper buy-up here coming into this round. Still, I mean, Nouns are looking much better, much more composed here on Vertigo.
Why can't they play CT Inferno like this?
It would have been good if they did.
Yeah, it would have been very good. They would have had 14 rounds already. In all seriousness, though, it's kind of funny how, you know, some teams could be really good on one particular map and another it just doesn't stick.
Not to mention, for Nouns, going back to their previous matchup against Vendetta, this is actually their 15th CT side round victory in a row.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't even lose a CT round. In fact, they haven't lost a CT round yet. The last 2 times they've been playing here on Vertigo. Maybe I'm cursing them now, we'll see. Insanity's coming up. He's going to try and go for the wall bang here. And, well, I mean, he's the one who takes all the damage. Can't connect on anything and goes down to 64. MIBR really are favoring that A ramp quite a lot. They did go to the B site a couple of times, but A ramp, as is usually the case for most T sides on Vertigo, is their bread and butter.
BRN hoping somebody creeps that smoke. Instead, he's going to get spammed by Cynic down very low. Henny, in the meantime, falls. The Stamina drive-bys. Night for 3 as he's got a Hattie in the round. Tuurtle responds with 1 on the op. A Molotov forces him back away behind the forklift. and nobody will overextend on the Nouns side. MIBR down by 2 players yet again. Exit and Tuurtle with a very tough mountain to climb. And MIBR have failed to even do very much damage. If we have round history, I would love to see if Nouns have even had more than one round where they've lost a few players, like more than 2 players in a round. Let's see. We can get this checked by our observer. Listen, we can't see that, but I'm very curious as to how many rounds in a row, or at least overall throughout this half, Nouns have survived with 3+, and then 4+. Because I would say it's been at least 2/3 of the rounds they've survived 3+, if not 4+.
Yeah, it's been very good. That said, they did just lose Stamina, who got a little overzealous going down that ramp, but time's over. Doesn't matter. He's allowed to get overzealous. They have the money. He wanted to do more damage, and at the end of the day, Nouns say, okay, well, you guys can say whatever you got. We are going to be happy taking a 7-0 lead. MIBR not really able to make much headway at all so far on their T side. Half is still far from over. And they will have a buy up here, although it's not the best. 2 Galils, 2 AKs, and the AWP, and the util is extremely light on 3 players. Tuurtle and BRN do have a decent chunk of it. We'll see if it's going to be enough, though, for them to get a proper execute going. Oh, that Molotov misses the mark on Nouns side, goes right into the smoke, so Tuurtle doesn't have to worry about that. He's just peering over the corner. He's trying to see if anyone's going to try and go to the top of those B stairs, but as it stands, no one has yet taken any damage aside from Tuurtle being tickled for 1 HP of damage by utility.
It could open him up to be vulnerable to a 1-tap from the M4. If the stars align, really. But overall, you shouldn't be too much bothered by that. Goes for a jump peek. Might just get caught up by Carson, who's pushed to the side, or could just get caught out himself. Yep, Tuurtle gets the catching. That's the first man advantage to start off a round MIBR have had this entire half. That is an incredibly important stat line when you consider that you have a massive advantage when you get that first pick, and MIBR have not been able to manage that.
Yeah. Still a long road ahead and not that much map control for MIBR as it stands, and only 39 seconds left on the clock. Good pacing of the util here from Nouns. A couple of incendiaries tossed towards the B stairs to slow up MIBR even further, and that might force them in the direction of the A site. No, they are just going to commit towards B. All 5 players coming up those stairs. bwills going to have his hands full because everyone else is leaning towards the A site. bwills has to do all the damage. There's one. The second going to come through. It does. bwills standing on his head for a 3K. Exit and Henny, the last 2 standing, but bwills doing the work. Henny and Exit come back though with 2 in a row. What a play and a movement onto A site, but they don't have time to plant the bomb. Ay, 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 CJ even gets Henny after time. Oh no, oh no. How could that go from being so incredible for MIBR to being so terrible? 8-0 in favor of Nouns. I'm at a loss for words because of how ridiculous that was.
Everything that could possibly go wrong for MIBR is going wrong for them right now.
Yeah.
They do everything right except for playtime.
Yeah, the time was just, they waited way too long, and I was talking about it earlier in the round, right? Like, they were down to the 34-second mark without much map control at all, and they finally do end up going in. And they did the work on the entries, but the clock was their enemy. CJ is going to get a molly thrown towards the ramp. Tuurtle gets taken down to 40, BRN down to 48. This is just not looking pretty for the MIBR side. Not to mention, of course, since Henny didn't get any money, any loss bonus in that previous round, and you see Exit at 0 as well. The economy's messed up. It's a weird buy-up. Oof.
Well, we were saying that Nouns really haven't been tested all too much on this map until this game. Now, I will hold final judgment until the second half is over. The first half is looking stellar.
No, their CT
absolutely
side is
sterling.
Yeah.
Is the T side there to finish it off? We'll find out, but as it stands still, this is MIBR's stronger side. They're a very good T-side team on this map, and Cynic's just going to mop up 2 with that spray on the A1S, and Sonny gets spotted somehow around the smoke, or if it's just good timing. Either way, he's down to about half, peeks around, now they know where he is for sure. bwills on the angle, and then Sonny over the edge and down off the 51st floor. Exit will try and recover the bomb, and he will dive bomb back and around, but Stamina's ready, and Carson's going to get the finishing blow. Tuurtle now last man standing with an AK in hand. Nothing he can really do. What looks to be a flawless victory for Nouns, unless they go a-hunting. Time's gonna expire too. Another time where MIBR are burning down the clock, and the house is burning down around them because it's 9-0 Nouns. And even still, you can't consider this a fully strong buy from the Brazilian squad.
MIBR reeling here, Austin.
Where's another timeout?
There it is. That is a very good read there. Honestly, they had to call a timeout to talk things over. 3 AKs, a Galil, and likely another Galil going to be bought up by Exit, but like their money situation was very weird in that previous round. Obviously, that's the reason why they have to settle for these Galils. In fact, no. A Deagle instead for Exit because he wants to get that util, and it makes sense, but all of that firepower, all of that crazy performance we saw in that second half of Inferno is completely flat this time. This is where maybe Jota would have been able to make a difference. He was one of their most consistent players, night in and night out, even though he didn't necessarily perform that well in that grand final. In ECL, he still contributed in such a big way with the utility, and even the frag sometimes. He had some critical ones come through. Anyway, as of right now, MIBR don't have anything to speak of here on Vertigo.
Yeah, they've got a combined about, I'm going to say, 17 kills, give or take. I'm not actually doing the math, it's just a rough guesstimate. Which really isn't a lot when you're 9 rounds deep. Nouns barely have any deaths. They have a good amount of kills, and it's all spread relatively even, too. It's not one guy hogging all the covers and everyone else just out there in the cold. So, right now for Nouns, they're in a very comfortable spot. However, a weakness might just have been found by Tuurtle. He's creeping up towards B. There's only one defender here, Nouns, very prone to gamble stacking or overstacking on these CT sides. We saw them punished on Inferno for it. Vertigo, they've been able to recover everything. Carson's got a lot of work to do, though. All 5 MIBR players ready to throw their complements of utility in. The full take's coming through. Carson, get your gun out, son! They're running up on you. He doesn't clear his right. And Tuurtle has a free opening kill. The bomb can go down, and it will go down. And if I'm not mistaken, that is the first bomb plant for Made in Brazil this entire half, but it's evened up to a 4v4, and Nouns are all coming through on the retake.
Finally getting that bomb planted. And it looks like Nouns want to try for this one. You can't blame them. They have the money. They have the cushion. Tuurtle could do some damage. There's one onto bwills. And now CJ and Stamina looking for the trade. They're getting a little bit of damage from util, but time's up. They have to fall off here. BRN will take down Stamina. CJ goes down to Tuurtle. And Cynic hangs around to at least get one frag, but that will be all. Finally, MIBR with a clean take of the B site. The good read, right? Because Carson was behind the ventilation shaft. In fact, didn't even have his gun out until it was way too late. No shots fired from him before he falls to the ground. And MIBR are able to get something. Is it too late? I don't think so yet, but you really do need to have a stellar finish to this half to get back into this one. Nouns, plenty of cash. They'll be able to reinvest here and opt an AK from the previous round saved by Cynic and 3 A4s. Defense has been good, but in that round, MIBR found the chink in the armor.
I think it's 5 rounds necessary for MIBR out of this half. So they have one more round they can afford to lose before things really get too close. Or too far out of reach, I should say. And we're going to a map 3, which is overpass, so bit of an interesting one. Neither team particularly good on it, neither team particularly bad on it either. It's a very middle-of-the-road map, which is going to be very even. bwills might have been blind. He still got the spot first. Tuurtle goes down first. And Carson will eat a lot of nade damage, still alive for now, as it's a bit of a retake setup being played now by Nouns as they backed off the site. Carson chunked all the way down to 3 HP. Stamina over top, can't find anything. bwills finished off,
Nice
and the
spot,
bomb
nice
goes
spot.
down. Insani gets it in, and as he pops back up from the plant, Stamina removes an overlarge head from his shoulders. 3 men to hold for MIBR. That wounded Carson on the op now. Utility being used by Nouns. It's aggressiveness from BRN and Henny. It's got to pay dividends. They've got one. They've got only one as CJ doubles down. Exit's hiding. He's been spotted. And now he has a lot of work to do. The smoke will give him some cover, but CJ's hopped on it. He's holding, and Exit's praying. He's got the one. That should do it. Stamina's got the kill, but he has no time. MIBR 2 in a row. But Nouns, they've still got 9 on the board. It's about tightening that vice even more and getting everything they can out of this first half.
Another bomb plant found on that B site, and I was about to praise bwills, and I still will. I mean, he's been playing on the B site really, really well as the anchor for the majority of this this half. But in that case, fell off of the site, gave it to MIBR. They found the bomb plant, and even though it was trending in Nouns' direction with some great utility issues and trades coming through, at the end of the day, you gotta look at Exit and give him a fist bump if you're on MIBR, because he worked that clock to perfection, going up behind the smoke, baiting Nouns into a fight, coming around the corner, or I should say spamming the smoke at the perfect angle to take down the bomb diffuser, and then afterwards, I mean, it didn't matter that he went down because there was no time left for it to be diffused. MIBR get the second. It was very expensive, but on that T side, that economy, it comes back pretty quickly. Util's a little bit lighter than they'd like, but they still have 3 AKs at Galil and Op, and are now going back to the A side, which they haven't had any success on at all. This time, they might. Getting missiles on the other side, and 1 AK. BRN says, "Hello guys, how are you doing, CJ and Cynic? I've got some AK bullets for you. I hope you don't mind."
I think he hopes they mind. He's just going to give it to him anyways. Carson is next victim too, as he's on for 3. Maybe even going to go for an ace of his own. There were 2 aces for Nouns in the first map. So actually, as a matter of fact, John, 1/5 of their total round count. Oh, there's a 4th. 1/5 of Nouns' total round count from the last map came off of the back of aces.
Unreal.
And one of them was a 1v5.
That was a crazy round. I thought that would be a turning point, to be honest, but it ended up being not the case because of MIBR's second half.
MIBR's second half was huge.
Yeah, and now you have to be maybe a little bit concerned if you're Nouns. Yes, you have 9 rounds on CT side, but you really wanted to like drive the nail into the coffin of MIBR and come out with a dominant first half, excuse me. Here now, with MIBR taking 3 rounds in a row, yes, your economy's recovered. You will have a rifle buy up here, and it can still be 12-3 if you can sweep the rest of them. But if I'm Nouns, I want that 12-3, right? Or at least 11-4. To get onto the T side and really be able to end this sooner rather than later, because the more this drags on, the more rounds you play, I feel like it's more and more going to favor MIBR.
They definitely do have the experience advantage. They have the organizational support advantage, I would say, as well. And looks like Exit's calling the shots right now. He's also pulling up some big wins. BRN removed by CJ. Cynic will add another one as well. CJ with 2. All down to Henny and Insani as Nouns are knocking on the door of double digits. They want that 10th. They want to stick it to MIBR. They don't want to let that comeback even be a remote possibility. They've only got Henny to deal with now. 5 alive still for Nouns. A bit of a boost to the economy, perhaps, as we hit the dying embers of this first half. And he just gonna look for a little bit of damage. He's been quite quiet on this T side so far. Only 4 kills, make it 5 as he somehow deals with stamina, but only 1 kill for his name and for his trouble. Opt to be recovered for stamina as well. 10 rounds to Nouns, but money for MIBR to reinvest and try and push for 5. That's my number for him to make this one winnable. At least relatively comfortably winnable. They could do it with 4.
Yeah.
Just gonna be a whale of a time.
I would say if you're MIBR, you want at least 4. Nouns wants 12, like I mentioned earlier. You want that 12-3 heading into the second half and just put a stranglehold on this match. 147 on the clock as we get going. Round number 14. MIBR looks like they want to full send it up the ramp, and they've already got Tuurtle at the tippy top of it. Cynic going back for cover. He's calling for the reinforcements. No one is here. It's a free site for MIBR. Tuurtle just saying, wow, this is a gift at our feet, guys. Come and plant the bomb before Stamina is able to rotate around. BRN at least going to go down here. But the problem is, Nouns still don't have any presence here. MIBR should be able to get the bomb plant. Nice Molotov thrown, though, by Nouns onto the site. And the smoke's going to come through. That should clear the way for the bomb to eventually make its way here.
Look at the lack of utility for MIBR, though. A Molotov and 2 flashes to hold off this 5v4 post plant. And Sonny's going to hop up on the railing, spots out one, and bwills spray down, and Sonny gets away without taking much damage either. Good one to bring it to a 4v4. And Sonny looking more and more comfortable as time goes on in this roster. Molotov's towards Henny's position. He's forced out into the open, but he's able to get out of there alive. Takes a little bit of damage, but I think it's still good to be standing here. Cynic chunked down a little bit more, but CJ's added another one to his total. Henny responds in kind, but Tuurtle comes up empty-handed. Stamina and Carson trying to bring this back. Carson's gonna stick on it. Exit's got one. Exit's got both. He's got 3 in the round. The round victory as well. Exit heating up and stays alive for good measure. 4 on the board for MIBR. Economically reset our stamina and Cynic. Nouns honestly could take a timeout here just to figure out what they want to do with their buy, but they're going to go full send it, buy whatever they can, and MIBR clawing for that 5th.
Yep, 15th and final round of play here in this first half. Nouns. Yeah, that's a tough one. It's the second time in this half, at least of the 4 rounds that MIBR have won, that Nouns got caught off with really very light presence on the site that was being hit by MIBR, and they weren't able to deny them the space they had to, because on the retakes, I mean, MIBR have looked better. I haven't seen many of them, obviously, but of the ones we've seen, MIBR have been strong. 2 players down immediately here. BRN and Henny dropped. Tuurtle gets a response onto Carson, and again, it's this B site that MIBR are abusing, and they find 3 unanswered frags. Stamina and Siege are the last 2 standing. Siege is on life support, and now he's going to have to deal with both Exit and Tuurtle on only 1 HP. The only saving grace for CJ right now is that the bomb hasn't been planted yet, so maybe he can try and time the peak with the attempted plant. He does. He can't win the duel off the docket, and that means that CJ is gone. We are going to take a quick break, as we have a 10-5 half in favor of Nouns heading to the second half.
Well, Nouns were off to a 9-0 start this time, but MIBR brought it back. They got 5 on the board. Boggs and JRT on the mic for this one, and, well, I have some shades of that comeback on Inferno from MIBR coming into Vertigo second half. Nouns, they have to close it out. Can they close it out? Henny denies the first and the actually BRN for the second and third. It's a pistol round domination from MIBR so far. The bomb down on ramp. The nade to force Henny away doesn't even do much as he's been raid bossed. CJ taking long range fights. He needs an ace again. Can he do it? It would be a 1v5, 3 HP. And he is run down by Henny. Bookend frags from the Opper. And MIBR, the start they wanted, the start they needed, accomplished.
MIBR doesn't need a lot of breathing room, and Nouns gave them what they needed in that first half. 5 rounds picked up after being down 9-0. That's a 5-1 run for MIBR, and now they win the pistol round in a very convincing way. Just feeling like MIBR is going to do their magic once more, Austin, honestly.
Deja vu?
Yeah. No, I mean, they've done this so many times before where a team comes up with a strong start, and then they take their foot off the gas pedal a little bit, and MIBR says, okay, here we go. Time to ramp it up. And again, clean round comes through. They haven't lost a single body in the first 2 rounds of this second half, and they'll be able to save up, carry over every single gun they had. That's 4 M4s as well.
It's a full buy from Nouns, but MIBR just flawless in the first 2 rounds. Haven't really looked troubled at all. Nouns. I feel like the trouble lies with them at this point. The question marks are surrounding them despite that 10-5 half. And MIBR putting into cruise control. Cynic running around, sprayed down by Henny as Insani tucks his way in. Into the cubby, down to the bottom of yellow. That's a really good spot for him to be in. Unchecked, uncleared. Utility to flush them further and further away. The MIBR to be able to just kick it into cruise control, turn on the stereo, crank up that AC, and just roll with it. BRN with the next kill. Insani debating this aggression. Goes in silent. Henny gets 1 more, but is traded back. First 2 casualties of the half for MIBR. 3v2, room for Nouns, but not much, because look at Tuurtle. All the way in, spotted by Stamina, though that's huge.
Yeah, Stamina getting that spot at least forces Tuurtle to fall back a little bit and allows Stamina to grab the bomb. So maybe he can regroup with I can't speak. Regroup with bwills. There we go, a little bit of a tongue twister. Henny, though, hasn't been cleared out. bwills needs to throw that Molotov, and he's not going to. So Henny just gets to sit here and chill out, wait for bwills and Stamina to come his way. And I'm not even sure this is going to be watched, right? Exit can see the bodies come forward, and he'll be able to do some damage. Then Henny can pitch in and likely end this round very easily. 31 seconds left on the clock. Exit. Here's the bomb being kicked down, and there you go. I mean, you gotta clear cement. And he gets the last 2. There you have it, a 4K for the Brazilian Opper, but this time he's using the A1S to do the damage.
So it was 9-0 for, or was it 8-0?
9. No, it was 9-0.
No, it was 9-0. Yeah. It's hard to believe it was 9-0 then 10-5, but anyways. 9-0 start for Nouns, MIBR. 3-0 start on their CT half, and pistols for Nouns here. Vests on 4, 2 smokes, 2 flashes, Tech 9 on 1. Overall, though, I think the picture being painted is Nouns are letting their leads slip incredibly quickly out of their hands, and make it even more so as Cynic gets rung by Insani, just spamming away. CJ gonna try and work his way up to side hall, maybe get the drop on somebody. Pushes around, has an opportunity, does manage 1, but only 1. Insani right there for the refrag. BRN kind of got caught looking the wrong direction, and that's his undoing, but it should be a relatively smooth round nonetheless for Made in Brazil. Stamina maybe gets 1 more off of this boost, but Exit should be in a good... Never mind, that's a nice shot. In-game leader on in-game leader. 3v3, rifle recovered, and Sonny goes down. It's Stamina again with 3. Shut down, no! It's Stamina with 4. Clutches up on the pistols, and he's trying to claw his team to victory. 21-10 for the in-game leader. And Bobby is saying, it's time to cook, boys. Let's go to map 3.
Oh my goodness, Stamina, again, in a round that really shouldn't have gone their way, just takes the deagle and says, all right, I'm just going to do all the damage, pick up an AK, and seal the deal. Unreal. 11-8, should have been 10-9. And MIBR used their third timeout to talk things over and say, hey guys, hold on a second. We were in complete control, and then one player comes through and destroys us. What happened? How did we let him slip through? And I mean, it's not even slipping through. Stamina literally straight up wins 3 aim duels in a row.
It gave me vibes to that 1v5. Same sort of deal.
Yeah.
Just Stamina hitting all the heads.
Unfortunately, after Stamina got that 1v5, it wasn't really a spark for Nouns. They ended up going to the second half and not really doing much. So let's hope that the story is different, at least for Nouns' sake. MIBR do have a decent buy-up utility in light here. It's the A hit again, and Henny gets the opening shot onto Cynic. He does take a little bit of damage in the process, but he's got BRN, the rifler, supporting him from scaffolding.
BRN looking for something, looking for an opener. Stamina peeking around, runs into 2, does get nothing as Henny gets the second one. BRN removed by CJ though. So still a man advantage for MIBR. Henny over towards side hall now, looking for somebody to peek around. CJ might just oblige. Thinking about jumping over, looking for a peek though from the looks of things. And instead, Henny knows he doesn't have to push. He'll hold. He's got the man advantage. He's got every advantage he needs, and now utility flies forward, forcing him forward. Lineup chances, only one more, misses the third, or fourth shot, I should say. Tuurtle right there for the refrag, and Sonny jumps around, Carson down. 9 rounds to MIBR, and once again, Stamina provides a spark that lands on nothing.
And he proven to be a slow starter in both maps, but in the second half, he has been a monster. Comes through there, like you mentioned, even though Stamina really does everything he possibly can to get his team back into this half, they immediately lose the follow-up round. And yes, because that victory came in an eco round, they were able to upgrade rifles for free with, I think, 3 or even 4 players left standing at the end of it. So they will have a buy-up here. Still, I mean, that was pretty clean for MIBR, given how well he was performing on the A ramp, and now it's becoming pretty readable. Cynic, again, going into scaffolding, going towards that ramp. Once more charging up, BRN opening frag. Nouns starting to bang their heads against a brick wall towards this A site.
And he spots the bag, and he gets the frag, goes back for more, but he's double dipped and punished by CJ. That's why you don't double dip, folks. You get your one, and you're good. Get another chip. Don't double dip. PSA right there. And he's giving you a good example of why. And it's really rough for Nouns now because they don't have much utility left. They don't really have much space either, and MIBR can kind of just sit back and await their arrival wherever they come from.
Nade's gonna fly in here. Very shortly anyway from MIBR's side. As soon as they hear the bomb get taken down, here comes that nade. You have to imagine. No, that was really smart from CJ. He started to spam as soon as the bomb was being planted so they couldn't hear that it was actually going down. So the nade timing was thrown off, and now Nouns a chance to come back and take this round, but there's still a man down. That said, Exit and BRN are kind of low. Only 66 HP combined. Here comes CJ for one, but only one. Free care from Tuurtle. Carton's trying to sneak through. He can't. bwills. It does manage to get one onto BRN, but he goes down to Tuurtle. That will be that. MIBR do get the successful retake. A 10th round picked up, and Nouns just once more. After the heroic play comes through from Stamina, they lose 2 rounds in a row. Yes, they get the bomb plant. Yes, their loss bonus is good enough to ensure a buy-up comes through, but they need to call a timeout and get things sorted, because right now, MIBR is on a 10-2 run. That 9-0 lead is evaporating. In fact, it already has evaporated. Only 1 round separates these 2 squads, and MIBR hangs on to all the momentum right now.
They're on another run, 5-1. And if you count all the way back, you cut it off at that 9-0 lead. It's 10-2 in favor of MIBR. They start off incredibly slow, and then they turn on the jets.
Yeah.
I guess it's not, they're not a fast starting car, but when they get moving, they can move. I guess they're not really built for a drag race, more of a long haul sort of deal, but when they get going, they are very, very good. Hard to stop. Nouns almost like a firework. It's nice and explosive at the beginning, but then burns out and fades into nothing.
Yeah, definitely have the endurance on the MIBR side. There's no question about it, as BRN's going to toss a nade on forward. And like I was saying before, the more rounds you play here, on any map pretty much against MIBR, the more likely it is that they're going to be able to come back into it, even if they're down by a significant margin in the early goings. And again, that's holding true here. BRN, looking around here from scaffolding. Smoke's going to come through, and in fact, no kills to speak of just yet. A lot of rounds being expended there at the A ramp, but as it stands, Nouns want to readjust themselves and head towards the B stairs. Carson leading the charge there. Still plenty of time to get an execute going. They've got a couple of smokes, a Molotov, and a flashbang to work with to open up that space. 4 players from MIBR on B. What a read.
That's a good util. But Tuurtle still got the first kill, staying alive as well. Drops that smoke to cover off one angle. He'll use it to escape. But he'll go back in, takes the next fight. Henny's got his back as CJ falls down to the ground. Carson with one on the Tuurtle, but Henny has another. Stamina trying to be big again, but Insani will come through. Henny with the last on 1 HP, and we're all knotted at 11 all. Make a wish, folks. If you're MIBR, your wish is for victory. If you're Nouns, your wish is to find a problem or a solution to this problem where they just cannot finish a game.
Yeah, they're having a lot of trouble just holding on to their leads, the sizable leads they built up, even more here on Vertigo at 9-0, and it's gone. I mean, it doesn't even matter anymore. MIBR's got the momentum, even though the scoreline is tied for Nouns. They need an answer. The timeout didn't really provide them any kind of solution to everything that's been going on here. MIBR, on the other hand, you have Henny rocking it with the AWP. Insani, hasn't necessarily had a lot of frags, but right there supported Henny, the star offer, in staying alive. Because if Insani doesn't get that frag and do some damage to attract some attention in this direction, Henny would have gotten dropped. Now BRN's gonna farm a 3K against the Pistols. A fourth coming through? No. He eventually will go down. Stamina finds him, but I mean, Insani's right here to deny more space from being gained on the Nouns side, and in fact, Exit along with Henny have joined him. So it's just going to be very difficult for Nouns to even get a bomb plant out of this. Yeah, exactly.
Tuurtle's on the flank. There is no escape. There is no way out if you are Nouns. They are boxed in. They are stuck. Where do they go? They are dead. They're going to try and get the bomb down to the very least, these last two players, and Insani blinded. Spot out Carson, who's the last man standing as Henny finishes off Stamina. That's the first lead for MIBR on this map. It comes at round number 23. 12-2 in favor of rounds for MIBR after that 9-0 start for Nouns. The money for MIBR actually not fantastic still, despite their streak. But Nouns are very quickly running out of racetrack.
Yeah.
And the doubt from the last map surely has to be seeping into the back of their minds.
Yeah, they're still trying to work under the new system that Stamina is working to instill, and I mean, the speed bumps along the way are quite evident right now. MIBR, of course, are no slouches. Even without joking here, they've got so much firepower, and BRN is going to get one. Stamina the trade immediately, so that keeps the numbers even at least. Got Henny. They haven't, I don't think they've thrown a single Molotov or cement the entire half. So Henny's been able to hide here, have his way with anyone that comes towards the A ramp pretty much every single round. Sometimes he's taking the initiative, but other times he's hiding the side hall, and this time waiting over at cement. So, Henny? Ah, finally, there it is! They force him to use a smoke, and now they know that he's in this position. Nate's gonna come through, Henny down to 45, and Nouns have a bit of an edge.
They have a bit of an edge, but Henny's still here. They haven't flushed him out of position. He's still in danger right now, but now CJ deals with him. Nice little headshot. Man advantage for Nouns returns. Insani backing up, playing a bit scared here, has some utility. Ready to prep that molly. Tosses that one out as the Nouns players start to get up towards the bomb plant. They can't do that with the flames burning away. bwills spams away, cannot get the kill. Nobody in that vicinity. Insani sprays, finds nothing. Bomb down, 4v3 post plan for Nouns, and the retake utility is limited for MIBR. Insani's HP limited as well, down to 19. No openings for MIBR, and actually they're going to cut their losses early. They recognize their economic situation. They're going to save, and I don't hate this.
No, it's a good decision. Like you said, economic situation right now, looking at a rough buy-up, a possible one. It won't be that bad if everyone decides to full send it and go for the retake, but saving keeps your economy in a healthy condition. You keep that foundation that you've built up, and you also bring these 3 A1Ss, or 3 M4s into the following round. Alrighty. Nouns,
Get the op.
get a second. Yeah, definitely. You can get the op back in Henny's hands as well.
That was the one question. Do they get the op back for Henny?
They can.
Yeah.
You can just buy the body armor as a timeout's going to be called. That's the last timeout for MIBR that's available to them in a very tightly contested match, or at least on the scoreboard. And on terms of the way this one has gone, obviously the momentum has shifted heavily in favor of the Brazilians.
The momentum has definitely shifted, but Nouns still have it close at this point. MIBR have not fully run away with this yet. Individuals are starting to step up a little bit more on Nouns. A lot of that burden has been placed on the shoulders of Stamina. CJ coming alive as well. You look towards Cynic again having a lackluster performance on this map. And that's a big question mark because you look towards him to be one of their best players in their previous iterations. And now, sitting there towards the bottom. It's not a good sign for Nouns. Right now, signs a bit muddled as to who's going to win this map. ERN, very aggressive down towards Scaff, but he's just going to tuck it to the cubby and wait for an opponent. Nouns, however, are leaving the vicinity. They're going to go up towards B, and try and push their way in towards middle. There is one player here. It is Henny. He did not go for the op, as a matter of fact. He opted for utility instead. And they're giving up mid-control. They're just holding it very passively. 3 players all kind of converging here with no real hold. Henny's doubled down, though, with the M4A1. Looking for another victim. It's BRN, an exit to notch the next 2. All down to Carson, the one guy who did not go through middle. The last man standing. He's got a pair, but only 6 HP and not much chance to do anything as the bomb is down. Just about as low as his HP is, and Molotov's gonna buy more and more time. There's crosshairs on his position. Do no more. 13-12, lead restored for MIBR.
Yeah, MIBR gave them a lot of space, but it felt like they were just getting that spider's web ready. And as soon as Nouns walked into the middle of it, MIBR just struck and took down everyone. Henny's kicked it off with a 2K. He's been great with pretty much anything he's had in his hands, whether it be the rifle or the AWP. And he helps his team get a 13. A little bit of an effort there on the tail end by Carson getting a 2K, but by that point with the bomb down, and 3 players still outstanding on MBR side, it was pretty much done and dusted. Stamina gets caught up, missing down 18 HP, and over on the other end, Insani and BRN say, oh, hello, Carson and Cynic, dropping them to the ground. Tuurtle coming on the flank. This is over. This is just over. Tuurtle gets the 3K. That is MIBR stunting on Nouns.
That is MIBR playing to their strengths. That is MIBR at its core. That is their playstyle. Perfect way to play that one. They just bully Nouns into submission, and what can Nouns really do at this point? They have their Galils, they have a couple AKs, a bit of utility as well. And they look out of ideas here, John. They're just running it out towards B ramp, B stairs, and actually they get 2 for 1 out of that. There's a chance.
Well, that nade, it doesn't connect on anything. Yeah, I was gonna say, okay, they're just full sending it towards B stairs. why not? Nothing else has really worked, and they find the trade here. Okay, 3v2. Very light on HP for Stamina and Carson, and those nades could be extremely deadly. Oh, Stamina's barely alive, hanging on by a thread. BRN sprays down Carson. Cynic gets an important response onto BRN, though. Henny, we've talked about how good he has been throughout this BO3. He's got the AK in his hands. He knows someone's been around CT spawn, but he can't track him down. Henny turns around, sets his sight back on the A site. B site, excuse me. Looking around, and he will go down to Cynic, who gets the 2K, and Nouns still have life here on Vertigo.
They have life. But MIBR still have money. It's going to be another hard-fought round for Nouns, but if they are able to take round 28, they should just about reset MIBR's economy, which would set them up for 15-14. There is a very significant chance for Nouns here if they do the right things, they make the right plays, they get the right kills. Carson will eat a nade at the beginning of the round, so not exactly the healthiest breakfast in the world. And actually, the utility for Nouns as a whole is not great. Their money also kind of still in the bin. It's a swing round.
Yeah.
Except, I think for Nouns it has greater implication because they're not the team that has a map advantage.
I like what Nouns did in the previous round, just simplifying things, going for the full send push towards the B stairs. It works because MIBR hasn't seen that look, right, throughout the entirety of this match. Now they have. They threw the nades and utility early on and didn't give Nouns the space to go for it. They get the opening frag as well. That's Henny again back on the AWP. Stamina jumping over the danger panel. Making his way towards the site. Two players there, Exit and Tuurtle. Crosshairs lined up, and Stamina looks the wrong way. Exit drops him. Tuurtle gets CJ. Exit finds Carson. It's all up to bwills, who does manage to get one. But there are still 3 players left standing. He might be able to get a bomb plant out of this since everyone's on the outside looking in. Oh my goodness, there's the player coming up from the B stairs. Perfect timing. BRN denies the plant. 15-13. Very little money left on the Nouns side, but it is T side. So, and the loss bonus was still pretty good. So they should be able to get some rifles in the mix, but some players will have to settle for pistols or SMGs.
And he's got a zoom banger back in his hands. Rifles on the rest. Match point here for Made in Brazil. Nouns need 2 to go to overtime. Tech 9 for Stamina. Mac 10 for CJ. Rifles on the rest. Utility is quite sparse. Looks to be an A pressure here from Nouns. They might look to simplify things yet again. Oh is right. Oh, the lineup. And there goes one. Not the start. Half damage on the bwills. And making another one as Cynic goes through. Does get one, but 4v2 in the favor of Made in Brazil. They are on all cylinders and 2 away from a date with ATK.
Yeah, pretty much 1.5 now as bwills on death's door has to hit some nutty headshots to help his team stay in this map and try to take this round. But he's got 4 full HP MIBR players to go up against. Stamina by his side. We saw Stamina make some pretty crazy plays, but he's in Henny's crosshair, and Henny's not going to miss that one. Only bwills now. 1v4 to stay in the map and the series with 1 HP available to him. Walks towards Henny. It's the headshot. There's one, but not the second. Tuurtle right there for the trade. That is it. MIBR take it 16-13, and tomorrow they are up against ATK for a spot in ESL Pro League.
That is a marvelous performance from MIBR. Marvelous in the sense that they were able to make the comebacks happen, that they were able to battle through the adversity and find ways to win. Not so marvelous when you consider the starts. 5-0 in favor of Nouns and Inferno.